Welcome to the Blitz and Glory podcast. Your home for all things college football. I'm your host, Alec. Let's dive right into it. On the show today, I will be giving you my college football game picks and talking about UAB's new coach. So let's get started with the game picks. And we started Conference USA with Kennesaw State and Florida Atlantic. Kennesaw State, and this is tonight. We're picking every game. Kennesaw State's a 3.5 point favorite. Total is 49.5. And I before I give my pick, I'm gonna say this. I'm back for good now after my little break I took. And here's my pick. I'm picking the surprise 4-2 team here in Kennesaw State. I really like Kennesaw State to win this game, but I think it's going to be a particularly close game. So if you want to take FIU to cover the 3.5, I would not be upset with it at all. As a matter of fact, that's the way I'm leaning. I'm going to take Kennesaw State to win, but I think there's a chance FIU covers the 3.5. Then we go down 7:30 on CBS Sports Network. We have 5-2 Western Kentucky and 4-2 Louisiana Tech from Jones Elite Stadium in Ruston, Louisiana. Louisiana Tech's a 3.5 point favorite. 50.5 is the over under. I'm gonna say this. I'm taking Western Kentucky for one reason. I just trust Western Kentucky more than I do Louisiana Tech. I don't think this is a fluke that Louisiana Tech started 4-2 at all. I think Louisiana Tech is a genuinely good team. I think the issue is they haven't played anybody like Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky puts up points in bunches. So watch out. This game could get out of hand quickly unless Louisiana Tech's defense shows up and they score a lot of points to stay in the game with Western Kentucky. If I'm betting on this, if I am a betting person on this game, give me the over. Give me over 50.5. Then we get to Wednesday night, 7:30 on ESPN2. We have Middle Tennessee 1-5 on the year and 3-3 Delaware. Delaware is an 8.5 point favorite. The total is 54 and a hook. I like Delaware to win this game. And again, ladies and gentlemen, you can pick against me on any of these games. You can choose the other team to win. I'm completely fine with it. However, I like Delaware to beat Middle Tennessee. This game just screams blowout to me. Delaware has been really good this year. I know they're 3-3, but they've been a surprise team in their first year in Conference USA. So give me Delaware. Then at 9 o'clock on CBS Sports Network, we have Missouri State 3-3 on the year and 3-3 New Mexico State. From Las Costas, New Mexico, in Aggie Memorial Stadium, Missouri State's a 1.5 point favorite. Total is 52 and a hook. Give me Missouri State to win. And I also like Missouri State covering the spread. I always say 1.5. That's a That's really low. But in this case, I think Missouri State's going to cover that easily, and they're gonna win this game going away. Next, we go to Thursday, and we got a game in the Sun Belt. We've got 1-6 South Alabama and 1-6 Georgia State. Somebody's going to get their second one of the year. I have more. The South Alabama is a 6.5 point favorite. Total is 56 and a hook. I am going South Alabama here. I just trust South Alabama more than I trust Georgia State. So give me the Jaguars, South Alabama Jaguars, to beat the Georgia State Panthers. And I also like Georgia State. I also like South Alabama here to cover the spread. I think we have more. Do we? Nope. Now we go to the American. That was the only Sunbelt game we have. American. Friday night at 7 o'clock on ESPN2, we have North Texas and Charlotte. North Texas is basically a 28-point favorite against Charlotte. The total is 61.5. Give me North Texas to beat Charlotte, and I don't think this game's going to be close at all. I think we can expect a blowout. Then we get down to Saturday. Memphis and South Florida. South Florida is a 4.5-point favorite. Total 63.5. Are we going to see, and you're going to hear me talk about South Florida twice in a couple segments later on in the show. But I like South Florida here to win this game. And I do think it will be a good game. And there will be a lot of scoring. I do like South Florida to win. Then we get to see it's from the back. Then we get to the next game, which I know we're bouncing around, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just do it this way. We got Cal and Virginia Tech. I like Cal to win this game. Virginia Tech is in the middle of trying to find a new head coach. And I don't trust Virginia Tech to win this game. And I know I've picked Virginia Tech a lot, but I'm off that train now of picking Virginia Tech to win games until I can figure out who their new head coach is going to be. We get Boise State and Nevada. This pick is very easy. Give me Boise State to beat Nevada. Nevada is not very good. Boise State is going to win this game easily. Then we get to Ohio and Eastern Michigan. This is another game where I'm not particularly in on either of the teams, but if I had to pick somebody to win, I'm going to pick Ohio University to beat Eastern Michigan. UCLA, Indiana. Watch out, Indiana. I'm not saying you're going to lose to UCLA, but I think you need to be careful. I think you need to be very careful here with how you play against UCLA. UCLA, since firing their coach, listen to this stat: 3-0. 3-0. They have not lost a game since getting rid of Deshaun Foster. Do I think that trend continues? No. I think Indiana is going to beat the brakes off of UCLA. Virginia and North Carolina. Now, if this was a game of if this was a basketball game, I'd be more enticed. But it's football. And this is easy. Give me UVA to beat North Carolina. North Carolina's in shambles right now. Belichick's probably gone at the end of the season. Next game is App State and Old Dominion. And I am taking Appalachian State to beat Old Dominion. I do like how both teams have played this year, but I would rather take Appalachian State to win. So give me App State. Next game is SMU and Wake Forest. Again, this is another game that I don't particularly think is going to be close. I do like how Wake's played this year, but I just trust the process of SMU more than I trust anything that Wake Forest is doing this year. So give me SMU. Kansas State, Kansas. Give me Kansas State to win. I think this is going to be a really good game. I do like Kansas State to win and get their fourth win of the year and get back to 500. But I do think there's a chance this could be an upset. I don't know why. I think there's a good chance this might be an upset. Ole Miss in Oklahoma. Ole Miss is ticked off after losing last week to Georgia. I'm going to take the Rebels to beat Oklahoma. So give me Ole Miss in a laugher. Syracuse, Georgia Tech. Now, Georgia Tech's undefeated. We can all agree on that. But my issue with Georgia Tech is they can't keep getting away with winning games in the last minute. And I want to know what everybody has to say about that. But that's my opinion. I'm taking Georgia Tech regardless. I think Syracuse has a lot of building to do. Fran Brown's a great coach. Next, we got Bowling Green and Kent State. Give me Bowling Green. Kent State is horrible. They have won a game this year, but I don't see a way Bowling Green loses this game. Michigan State. I want to take Michigan State really bad in this game, but I'm going to take the Wolverines to win this game, but it's going to be very close. I think it's a one-score game at the end of the game. Next game is Rutgers and Purdue. Now, at the beginning of when I was doing these picks at the end of last week, and to get ready for the show this week, this is the one game where I've changed my pick 2 or 3 times. I had Purdue, then I changed it to Rutgers, then I changed it back to Purdue, then I changed it to Rutgers again. And I'm more confident in Rutgers winning this game than I am Purdue. Confidence level in Rutgers right now is up here. Confidence level in Purdue down here. That tells you all you need to know. Next game is, we've already done South Florida and Memphis, Auburn, Arkansas. And I have a wild take that I'm going to talk about later in the show on Auburn. I do think Auburn wins this game, but I'll leave you on a cliff. I think we could see a coach fired after the game going into next week. And no, it's not Sam Pittman because Sam Pittman's already gone. And it's not Bobby Petrino because he's the interim for Arkansas. So keep it in the back of your mind as to who that leaves. Iowa and Minnesota is the next one. I am taking Iowa to beat Minnesota. Give me the Hawkeyes. The Hawkeyes are at home. This game is not going to be, it's going to be an ugly game. I don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be a good game. Buffalo and Akron. Oh, wait, no, we skipped one. Northwestern, Nebraska. Now, I know people don't like me rambling. I'm going to ramble here for a second. And if you want to stick around, you can. If you want to leave, go ahead. But how is Northwestern about to be, if they win this game, bowl eligible? Everybody, including me in the preseason, said that the Northwestern would only win 2 games. And for the second year in a row, it looks like I'm going to be wrong on Northwestern. I was wrong on them last year, and I might be wrong on them again this year. That's puzzling to me that Northwestern is about to be bowl eligible if they win this game. They're 5-2. I don't understand how they've won 5 games. And I know what people are going to say. They're going to say, oh, the Big Ten's not that good. Maybe the upper tier of the Big Ten, other than Ohio State, isn't good. But I disagree. Now we get to Buffalo and Akron. Give me Buffalo to beat Akron. Akron's another team that is just horrendous. And I just can't take the fact that Buffalo would lose to Akron. San Diego State and Fresno State. I'm taking Fresno State, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Washington. Give me Illinois. Wisconsin and Oregon. Easy game here. Give me Oregon. UMass and Central Michigan. Give me Central Michigan. UMass is awful. They have not won a game this year. They had a chance to win one last week, and they did not. So I am never taking UMass. Alabama and South Carolina. I'm sorry, South Carolina fans. You're not beating Alabama. You'll be lucky to make it out of the first half, only down 14-0. I think Alabama's going to put the beats on South Carolina. BYU, Iowa State. Give me BYU. I'm buying it, I believe, at Bear Bachmeier and Kalani Sitake. Coming into the season, I was skeptical because they lost Jake Retzlaff, and we didn't know who their quarterback was going to be. But now I'm buying into Bear Bachmeier. Got a couple more games. Ball State and Northern Illinois. I think this is going to be a classic MAC game where whoever has the ball last wins. Give me Ball State, Louisiana Monroe, and Southern Miss. Give me Southern Miss to win. Temple and Tulsa. I wanted to take Tulsa, but I just can't see Temple losing. And what a heck of a job Casey Keeler's done in his first year in at Temple. He might be looking at getting a high-profile Power 4 job. Vanderbilt and Missouri. Missouri is not happy with how last week ended against Auburn, even though they won. I think Vanderbilt wins this game. Now, Western Michigan, Miami of Ohio, another MAC game. Give me Miami of Ohio. Florida Atlantic and Navy. This one's easy. Give me Navy. NC State, Pitt, Baylor, Cincinnati. This is an interesting game in terms of Cincinnati being ranked in the top 25. End of the season, that Cincinnati was going to be ranked and they were going to have one loss. I would have looked at you and said, "Are you crazy? Did you see what Cincinnati did last year? Maybe all it took was Cincinnati getting a new offensive coordinator and figuring out how to actually play." So give me Cincinnati. Texas and Mississippi State. I really wanted to take Mississippi State, but I couldn't. Give me Texas to beat Mississippi State. And TCU, West Virginia. There's three things that are certain in life. To me, death, taxes, and picking West Virginia to beat TCU. And one of these days I pick West Virginia, they're going to win. It is that simple. They're going to win. Now I'm going to briefly cover and talk about UAB and their interim head coach, Alex Mortensen. If the last name sounds familiar, it is the son of NFL reporter Chris Mortensen. And they beat Memphis last week in Alex Mortensen's coaching debut. And I did not see that coming at all. I thought they were 23 and a half point underdogs against Memphis. I thought for sure that they were going to get blown out of the building, but Brandon Lewis gets hurt from Memphis, and prayers up to Brandon Lewis. Hopefully he's okay and he can play this week against South Florida. But I think Alex Mortensen is auditioning to be the next coach at UAB. And I think UAB's found their quarterback. I'm sorry to whoever the starter was coming into the season, but the kid that played last week for UAB played really good against a decently good Memphis defense. And I just don't know how you can tell me that kid's going to lose his job when they get their starting quarterback back. Now we get to my wild takes and bold predictions for this week. I get 2 wild takes and 3 bold predictions. My first wild take is South Florida scores more than 40 points again versus Memphis this week. They put up over 40 last week and had an offensive lineman catch a touchdown. I think they're going to do it again this week against Memphis and put up more than 40. And my second wild take is there will be at least one upset this week in college football. At least one. At least one upset. And now my bold predictions. And I'm going to start with 3 and go backwards. 3. Hugh Freeze. My third bold prediction is Hugh Freeze will be fired. Hugh Freeze gets canned after this week. And I know I said Auburn's going to win. Regardless, Auburn wins, he's probably still going to get fired because they want to get ahead and look for a new coach. Or they lose and he gets fired. Regardless, he's going to get fired either way. Ryan Williams for Alabama goes off for not 1 touchdown, not 2, not 3, 4 touchdowns against South Carolina. Call me crazy. Call it a bold prediction. I think Ryan Williams has a huge game. against South Carolina. And my number one bold prediction is Byron Brown has a 300-yard passing game versus Memphis this weekend. Your favorite college football analyst, Alec, that's the Blitz and Glory way, signing off. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will be back tonight at 9 o'clock for another podcast episode of NFL, of my NFL podcast, which is my NFL podcast tonight at 9